Good evening. Like and subscribe if you're not afraid of the truth, and like and subscribe if you feel that the truth adds up. Okay, let's begin. For every effect there is a cause. For every cause there is an effect. Trump's failed coup attempt caused what to happen worldwide. The first thing it did, it showed that American democracy is flawed. It also showed that everything that's going on in America isn't perfect. It isn't quite right. Now, the people in Africa, they know that their elections are rigged, and they just go about their business and they believe that, okay, they got us again. But when Trump tried to overthrow the American government, America did not look as powerful as it did. It showed that America was vulnerable, or at least you can stand up to your enemies. And that is what's happening throughout Africa with these coups. They are actually revolutions. And they are throwing out, guess who? The American puppets. And they know these people are American puppets. And they've been knowing it. And they know that America kills their democratically elected officials and put in puppets. And like I say, they know the puppet masters, the puppets and the puppet masters manipulate the election. But when they saw Trump and they believed him, they said, wait a minute. The military said, wait a minute. We can do this and put in our own government. So following the archetype of Trump, they succeeded. But let's understand one thing. Trump has always been a failure. The game show that Trump was on made him look like this successful businessman. But a true billionaire, common sense should tell you a true billionaire doesn't have time to do game shows. Only characters have time to do game shows. Businessmen, especially billionaires, they have business to attend to. And if you see them on TV, some kind of way is tied into their business, not into the game. But going back, this was shocking to Africans. I mean, it was shocking to me. And I know it was shocking to you because most of us, we are so brainwashed to where we don't think that this could possibly happen in America. If this was to happen in France, England, Germany, we say, oh, wow, look at them. They're not like us because we've been so brainwashed. Even when we know it's wrong, we accept it because we feel that there is something fundamentally right about democracy, about America. And there's nothing right about this country. It's never been a democracy. It's always been a plutocracy. Because right after the war for independence, the only people who could vote were rich white landowners. That's not a democracy. That's a plutocracy. And it's been that way ever since. And the goal of a plutocracy is to keep wages down, keep unemployment up, because that way you create more beggars. And who will beggars beg to? They will beg to the people who are rich. And then the people who are rich you won't see them. They will tell you to blame the politicians, and then the politicians, of course, tell you to blame black people. They're trying to take your jobs. And when they can't blame black people, they say blame the immigrants. Anybody but us. But anyway, Trump is a plutocrat. Was, but he's just a loser. A total business failure, totally. And to put him in there in that position was narcissistic of the other plutocrats to think that this failure couldn't possibly ruin their good thing. And when I say their good thing, whoever owns the Federal Reserve is the master of the United States, because the United States prints money up, gives it to the Federal Reserve, and then they loan it back to us. And if we had any kind of sense, we would attempt a coup here. But racism stops people from seeing the reality of the situation that exists here. And even as I think that some of the African leaders are waking up to the fact that they're not getting anything from America. These so-called America said, we're not going to be sending you any more aid. Well, you've been sending them aid and they haven't improved any, because they don't need the aid. They need to develop their own resources and sell the produce of their resources, and then have the products of their resources manufactured in Africa, thereby making jobs for Africans and sending out the finished product, instead of sending out your resources and then buying the product back. Do you know this? Here's an example. Africa is one of the largest producers of tomatoes. They ship tomatoes out and then they buy ketchup. Makes no sense. You make the tomatoes, you send them out, and then you buy ketchup, when the reality of the situation is, if you got the tomatoes here, why are you shipping them out? It's cheaper to produce the tomatoes here and sell the ketchup. You could buy it cheaper here. You could buy it cheaper in Africa. But Africa is waking up now. And the internet is waking Africa up to the fact that they were being monetarily, financially colonized, which they knew. But Trump gave them the impetus to overthrow the puppet governments by trying to overthrow the most powerfulest country in the world. Well, that's what we say. That's what we call it. And that's what we advertise ourselves as to Africa and all the world. And then when the smartest, the richest, the number one world power there's a coup attempt. There's a failed coup attempt. Boy, it just shows that we're not who we say we are. And so they attack the puppet masters. Niger has kicked out France, and now they're kicking out the United States. And they have military support from Russia, who is backed by China and North Korea. So what is America going to do? Send a transgender army into Africa? Women, gays, in the military, fighting what? Men, like athletic men, and then expect to win a war? You got to be, you fooling yourself with that one. But anyway, I hope you understand how Trump lit the fuse for the coups that are going on in Africa. With that, like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Have a great day.